I'm certain you read the title of this video and the thumbnail, and I know you're probably wondering why am I using Batman Arkham Asylum. Don't worry, the gaming Let's Play footage will make sense soon, okay? Now, according to my title, I say this: I will always be a casual player. Understand one thing: make a game for everyone means you make a game for no one, okay? Not everyone can be like either Face Swag, Tim the Tatman, Shroud. Every one of us have our own lives, okay? For me, at least, when it comes to either free-to-play games, the most I played is at least 2 hours a day. I have to do YouTube stuff, record, edit, something like that. I barely had time to do anything. I'm gonna show you this.
Become the next big thing in games. I would confidently claim it's having its Helldivers 2 moment, where it releases as a big unknown, and suddenly becomes the thing that everyone can't seem to stop talking about. I've been playing it myself. I'm around level 15 so far. I had a guy shoot me recently and take my modded shotgun from my corpse, and yes, I'm still salty about it. But the game is fun. However, it seems like the usual types are trying to make Arc Raiders into something it was never meant to be. But first, let's go over the numbers, because, well, it's impressive. As seen here from Gaming Bolt, they reported that the game has now sold somewhere over 2 million units on Steam alone. Factoring in the other platforms, yeah, the game is a bona fide hit already. But what's even more absurd is its open critic score. Like, dude, look at this. Arc Raiders has a 100 out of 100 score from players on Open Critic. I don't think I've ever seen that happen. A legit perfect score from the people who bought the game is kind of crazy, but hey, as of now anyways, that is true. I'm sure the number will eventually drop somewhat in the future, but at this very moment anyways, it's still pretty insane. Even the critic scores are high, putting the game in the 90s. Well, like I said, the point of this video isn't really how good the game is or how it's doing, because all of that is pretty obvious. This video is actually how the content creators who push a game like this from your big time streamers and so on all seem to be trying to do to Arc Raiders what they tried to do with seemingly every single other multiplayer shooter game they've also gotten their hands on in the past.
I don't want to be shooting robots!
Yeah, that's right. Now here's the thing. Now you see why I'm using Batman Arkham Asylum. Understand one thing. Look, the topic of this is I talk about between casual and hardcore, okay? I'm reacting to this because I think this is a topic between casual players and hardcore players, okay? Many casual players, all they want to do is just boot up a game, play it with their friends. They don't want to deal with a player who is what? Who is having 12 hours of G Fuel, or maybe they played Warzone like a pro. Ah yes, professional. That's what I'm about to say. Look, everybody just wants to chill out. They just want to play a video game. It's why I always...
How many times do I need to be told? Keep away, or this little piggy fries.
I will always play single player games. See this?
Zaz is down, but not for long. Got to get him.
Someone put this animal back in his cell.
These streamers are trying to turn Arc Raiders into something it just isn't. One of these people is Tanner Slays. That's this guy on screen here. He openly called for Arc Raiders to just flat out remove the PvE element of the game. Here's what he said. Arc Raiders would be the game if the robots didn't exist. This AI coding ain't it. And then one user then tells Tanner that the Arc robots are actually the main threat of the game if he watched the cutscenes that the game started with. But like usual, Tanner, as seen here, admits that he just skipped all the cutscenes to get into the game. Great. Wonderful. So he wants the game to remove the PvE elements, which is more than half of what this game is, by the way, and he didn't even watch the cutscenes either. Unfortunately, this sort of player exists by the thousands. It's not really unique to Tanner. I have even friends in real life who have thousands of hours in games like Destiny 2 with the best guns and the mods imaginable, but if you ask them what the story or the characters are in Destiny's world, they will look at you like you're speaking a different language. There's just those sorts of players, you know, they're playing for the gameplay and the rewards and care next to nothing about, well, really anything else. But claiming that PvE shouldn't exist is kind of crazy. I'm actually on the opposite side. I think PvE should become more of a focus, if I'm being honest. And if you want more content that isn't corporate slop tied to big companies dictating what people can or can't say, consider liking this video, subscribing, or becoming a channel member. Thank you. And what I say next, it might anger some people, but hear me out.
For me at least, every time back in the past, okay, every time when I get back to work, all I wanted to do is just sit down, play some games. That's it, okay? I don't want to deal with the sweaty players who have tons of skill, experience, or play like a pro, okay? I mean, look, for me, if I were playing, let's say I played Marvel Rivals, okay? I will always choose support. I like to choose a sniper or anything. I will support my team from a distance. I'm just a casual player, okay? I don't want to deal with all the nonsense or all the sweatiness like these Call of Duty streamers do. I will always play single player, okay? Always.
Can you hear me? Is this thing on? Oh, hiya, B-Man. Harley Quinn here. How do you like my new uniform? Pretty hot, huh? Oh, I got something
And?
to show you. One
Like this
second,
one.
B-Man. I'm now subbing for the old man. Old Sharp has never been happier. In case you ain't figured it out, today is the Joker's big homecoming, and you're the guest of honor.
You have one chance to surrender, Quinn.
Tempting, Beth, but no dice. Now the inmates are running the asylum. Well, technically the Joker's crew.
Useful
shipped
information,
in
you know?
bucket. But you get the idea. Bye-bye for now.
Yeah. Useful, isn't it?
Batman, you picking this up?
Oracle, I'm here.
Arkham Asylum just vanished off the network.
He's in control of the security system. He's probably isolated it from the grid.
That's not all he's done. All police feeds are reporting he's placed bombs all over Gotham. Says he'll detonate them if anyone sets foot on Arkham Island. It's being suppressed at the moment, but the story will break any time now.
He's lying. It's just a diversion to keep people away.
How do you know?
I know him.
See, that's what happens if you don't skip cutscene. You missed out.
Control should be able to shut down the gate.
Harley thinks she has me trapped in this chamber. She never was very bright.
That's... Well, you can skip the cutscene or not, but it all depends though. There are times where you have to watch the cutscene because there are things that, well, it represent a useful information. Like what you just saw, okay? Here, let me show you another examples.
Hey, Batman found a way out.
Batman, I'm patching you into the guard radio feed.
Steve,
Watch.
more Blackgate
Listen.
prisoners. By the boiler.
Dial up.
Who's that behind them? Oh my god, it's Joker. He's free! How'd he break out?
Ah, see that?
Sorry, feed's down. Comms are up and down like crazy. It's not good. I'll keep trying.
That is useful, you know? Although there are games that don't allow you to skip cutscene like Kingdom Hearts 1, but there are things that you don't need to skip it because what if those cutscenes have some useful information? See? Look at this. See this? Every dialogue has useful information.
Warning. Decontamination room. Toxins detected.
See this?
Way in or out.
Look at that.
Damn it! They're trapped in there.
Warning. Decontamination room. Area sealed.
What is that stuff?
What is that stuff?
Joker toxin. Listen, the room is full of poison gas. Anyone caught in there is dead.
Are you gonna get in there and help them, Batman?
Okay.
Also, let me know what you think too, because no opinion here is wrong either, but it's actually, in my opinion, the PvP element of this game that I find the least important. I may even
really?
drop a hot take here, but let me just say it. I would actually be totally fine if Arc Raiders added PvE-only lobbies, and no, I'm not kidding. I mean like full-blown lobbies, where yes, you can run into other players, but you guys can't shoot each other, and you gotta face increased PvE threats. I would actually love that for this sort of game. I
Maybe
know it
I
might
would
sound
too.
crazy to some, but in actuality, I think a large part of the player base of games like Arc Raiders are not PvP players, clearly. In fact, the majority of them are actually casual players
That's
based on
right.
those sales
See?
numbers anyways, because the reality is that you don't get to 2+ million sales on your game with no prior franchise buildup of any kind by catering only to the crazy PvP-centric players out there. The reality is that games like Arc Raiders, just like Helldivers 2, they all live and breathe based on how they can cater specifically to PvE, and this is key, the casual players.
That's
Let
right.
me give you a recent example. Battlefield 6 has actually added a new game mode to their game called Casual Breakthrough. It's like the
Kudos to
usual
Battlefield
breakthrough
6.
mode with tons of people fighting, of
Good.
course, in vehicles and whatnot, but it's designed actually for people who want to clear their challenges and gain experiences for their guns without getting shot 24/7 by other players who are a lot sweatier than they are. The reason why DICE added this mode to Battlefield 6 was pretty simple. They were likely noticing plenty of lower level players whose KDs aren't 5.0 and above either leaving the game entirely or complaining in forums and online constantly that they're sick of
That could
being
be
sniped
true.
by
Could be a
monster
theory.
energy drink infused players who just, end them over and over again. Of course, this addition to Battlefield 6 has angered the hardcore side of the fan base, but in reality, I think adding a casual mode to something like Battlefield 6 is going to be a net positive for the game in the future. The reason being is, again, whether you want to admit it or not, the majority of the player bases for these sorts of games are not streamers. These games, including Arc Raiders, they cannot survive for years on the dedication or the players who are able to just play these sorts of games for 12 hours a day.
I know Endymion's gonna say it, but I'm gonna say it too. What Endymion's about to say is that everybody, whether it's viewers or gamers, they have lives too, okay? But the most you get is like what? An hour, maybe two? And I mean adults, okay? I don't know about kids. I do mean kids, sometimes they get less. Most adults, they only get like what? An hour, two maybe? Or maybe three if they're lucky. And also they only get like what? 1 day or maybe even 2 days off.
Oh God! Oh God! Why are they making that noise?
Everyone wants to chill, okay? And another thing, why do you think we are calling gaming an escapism?
This isn't a simple escape attempt. Joker's been planning this.
Video game is a
Over
form of escapism, okay?
You're gonna be fine. Stay here.
And no, I will never stream 12 hours, okay? The best I can do is 1 day, 2 hours.
Just hold on a little longer, Steve. I can't. I'm gonna fall.
Yeah, maybe 1 or 2 hours, okay? The best I stream.
I'm going after the
because I
animal
rarely
who did
stream.
this.
Batman, the extraction system. Steve was trying to get to the control panel at the end of the room.
I mean, even if I did stream, it's mostly be video game review.
Can't believe he left me here.
Yes, video game review. Like Clear Obscured, Hollow Knight Silksong, whatever it is, but mostly I
Great.
record.
All I need. Bat.
Watch. Bam! See? Woo!
Attention. Air quality is now at normal levels.
Yep.
Attention. Decontamination room access is now permitted.
Wow.
Woo! Go Batman! You rock! Joker doesn't stand a chance.
See? Again, remember one thing. If you make a game for everyone, means you make a game for no one. Wow, good timing. Oh, and before I let this continue, I apologize if I had to let the video run way longer because there are times where you have to let the creator cook a bit, otherwise you won't get your point across. Something like that, okay? And also sometimes many creators like to yap, like to rant a lot. So you have to get through that as well.
Those people have normal jobs and schedules
right.
and other responsibilities. Duh, I know. It doesn't mean they don't also play games, but I think the
We
dad
all
with
do.
kids who works 8 hours a day and wants to enjoy an hour or two of Battlefield a night or Arc Raiders to level up his guns and have fun is just as valid to enjoy his time spent as, say, Shroud or someone who plays for, again, 14 hours a day every single day.
That's
Min-maxing their stats and their equipment and sniping people between
Companies
pixels
still
of
cater
rubble
to
because
those
they're so
idiots.
insane. And if you think the streamers are who these kinds
Most
of
of them, at
games should
least.
cater to, that's actually usually how these games actually fail.
Correct.
Because it's always better to cater to the overwhelming 99% of players than that small fringe minority that plays these games with lightning fast movement. Like they have Red Bull being injected straight into their brains. Look, I'll fully admit it, okay? I'm not a hardcore Arc Raiders or Battlefield or really any sort of shooter fan myself. I
Same-
could care less
same,
about my KD.
comrade.
I don't care about ranking up in some ranked ranked mode. I play mostly single player games for a reason. Even when I play Marvel Rivals, I just play casual. I admit it, I don't care. And it's mostly because I can't stand playing with people 90% of the time anyways, either because I hate waiting on others, but also because I find many other players in games are just very reactive and they shoot first and ask questions later.
Yeah, I think I feel that way.
Exactly what I'm talking about. And a big reason why I enjoyed stuff like Helldivers 2 or even Destiny, for example, was simple because it wasn't, at least at first anyways, PvP focused. And just like Arc Raiders, the same sort of streamers like Dr. Disrespect, for example, have notoriously tried to push for Helldivers, just like he is now with Arc Raiders, by the way, that he wants Battle Royale in these sorts of games. But the point is that by removing Arc enemies from Arc Raiders, you completely miss the point of what makes Arc Raiders special either. Even the developers have admitted in the past that not only are the Arc enemies the main threat of the game over PvP, I mean, it's literally called Arc Raiders for a reason, but that they do plan to evolve the game beyond it to something from what it is today, because even in their minds, you can't reliably hope that the PvP element of this game will be enough to sustain it. Here's what one of the developers said via Twitch, and please watch this.
And certainly the end game play has to evolve with the game as we go. And you know, we even as early as a year ago began talking about what the next evolution was. So it's something that's on our radar for sure. So once the game's live, we see how players are engaging with the game loop we have, the game mode we have. I think it's only natural to look toward the future and how we evolve that experience, because I can't say for sure that the game will subsist forever on the format we have today. But I think if you've taken a moment in any one of these sessions and stood still and listened to the low soundtrack and the wind and the trees and looked on these environments, that this game can hold so much more than just the game mode we have today, however compelling it might be. And I think it'd always be a waste.
Good time for the ads. Okay, look, sometimes there are times where the formula did work for long term, but there are times where you have to improve a bit. I understand they want to improve and all that. That is completely fine. But they have to ask their audience what would be suitable. Make a poll on Twitter. They'll probably ask them because, in my opinion, you ask your audience what they like, regardless what it is, which will be suitable. PvE, PvP, whatever it is, which is suitable. You have to ask you that. That is more important. And this one. Again, look, I'm in the belief like in Demian too, okay? I really just want to relax, okay? Understand one thing, folks. Because this is, I don't think these streamers know this. Gaming is a form of escapism, okay? I mean, I don't think these streamers even understand what escapism means.
What chickens along? There's no escape, Joker. I will find you.
Okay, watch this cutscene, see?
Just not yet.
You could be useful. Wow.
He's a big one.
Yeah, it's a big guy. I know it's a bit too early for me to stop that one.
As you just heard, Arc Raiders will evolve beyond what it is today. What that
That's
form
true.
becomes, I don't know yet. But if I had to guess, I think the way you keep a game like this alive is you delve more into the PvE elements over that of its PvP, if you ask me. For a great example, I mentioned it already, of how trying to cater to both parties tends to rip a game apart, just go look at Destiny, and especially Destiny 2. That game has for years tried to cater to both PvP players and the more casual and far larger PvE player base. The problem, however, with Destiny 2 is that the nature of how the guns and abilities and so on exist, it becomes a logistical nightmare. Trying to figure out how exactly you can balance all of these incredible powers and the gun perk, with most of them, let's be real, built for PvE play into a PvP-centric environment. The answer that Bungie came to with Destiny 2 anyways, was that they would make guns and such that were only suited for PvP. This led to weapons like the Mountaintop, the Ace of Spades, the Thorn, Igneous Hammer, Ias Luna, Gallowhorn, those are the ones on top of my head anyways, and many, many more more, all becoming the best weapons in PvP, at least when I was playing it anyways. But the problem with Destiny 2, for example, and why this is important to Arc Raiders to learn, is that eventually those PvP players will want harder, more extreme modes. So then Destiny 2 would create the Trials of Osiris, where you would need to win 7 games in a row to go to the lighthouse to get your loot. And this was for the best loot in the game pretty much. So the best of the best players
I didn't
would all
know
play
about this
together.
one.
It got so competitive and toxic that players would start using hacks to crash enemy players' IP addresses.
Wow,
And I'm not
I
kidding,
didn't know
to
that
force them
either.
to lose so that they could win without even
Do
playing
any of you
the
know
game.
that?
This then led to players who did reach the lighthouse gaining weapons with the best
Interesting.
PvP-centric roles, who would then go back into the mode, obviously, and then demolish the players who couldn't reach the lighthouse because either they were also getting their IP addresses destroyed, or they were just getting defeated by the players who were able to get to the lighthouse that had dramatically better weapons that are suited for, the game mode they were playing. This obviously destroyed the PvP element of Destiny 2, and don't even get me started on those players that had all of the Trials of Osiris amazing gear, and then them going into the casual PvP, like playlist, whatever it's called. Like, dude, it was so toxic and awful.
Again, apologies if I had to do this all the time. I have to say, the ads is really out of control. I don't know if you know this. I don't want to dunk on Endymion, but there are times where, let's just say I was rewinding it, the ads come in, and when I skip it, afterwards, a few seconds later, another ads popped in. I was like, what the hell? Remember one thing, make a game for everyone means you make a game for no one. See? Oh, see? People just want to enjoy themselves, okay? Ow. Ow, oops, sorry. See? People just want to enjoy. Want to enjoy, they don't want to deal with the stressness. I mean, compared to Call of Duty streamers who just like what, do that for 12 hours? Or maybe 14, I don't know. See?
Well, that was unexpected, wasn't it? Oh well, note to
Remember,
self,
every cutscene has
needs
information.
stronger test subjects.
Most of the time.
Seeing as how I'm feeling generous, I'll give you this one for free. Knock me off, I dare you. End this. Pull the plug. Stop me once and for all. Oh, you're getting too predictable, Bats. Well, I'd love to stay and chat, but I have a party to organize. I've got guests flying in from all over Arkham. You'll see.
Again, remember one thing. People just want to relax, okay? They don't want to deal with the stressness of doing objective or anything. Look, I think, for me at least, kudos to Battlefield 6 for even including a casual mode. Maybe one day I'll pick up Battlefield 6. Well, one day at least. Because understand one thing, the majority of players, all of them are casual. Doesn't matter whether you're playing Dark Souls or even Elden Ring or what.
Quick, get in here
Batman
before more
games,
of them
whatever
come.
it is. They're all casual gamers. They just want to sit down and relax. Because unlike most of these streamers that you saw, sometimes they don't read the title, or in this case, skip the cut. They skip the cutscene because they don't know what the game is about. And look, they don't know, or in this case, they don't understand how the game works, like Arc Raiders. Assuming like you have this kind of game where you say, oh, I don't like Joker, Joker should be removed. Yet if you say that, the game wouldn't have been fun. It wouldn't be Batman. Batman wouldn't have been good without the Joker.
new abilities and other guns and whatever else. It continued to just ruin and then sever the balance between the PvE and the PvP sides of Destiny. Nowadays, Destiny 2's player base is in the dumps for all sorts of reasons, but for me anyways, one of the big reasons was that its PvP modes were completely unplayable unless you no-lifed it. It was just people who spend more time than I did in the game using weapons that were dramatically better than mine that were tailor-made for that mode just beating me, so I just stopped playing it. And Arc Raiders, like I said, could head down a similar path, which is why I think when you have a game that is both trying to cater to both sides of these elements, eventually that rope is going to snap, and you need to, out of necessity of survival, decide which side of the aisle you want to cater to more to ensure that your game keeps going in whatever direction you decide. And it's very obvious for anyone who's played Arc Raiders that its PvE element, player versus environment, in case you don't know what it means, is far more important than its PvP, player versus player, because the Arc robot enemies are already dangerous as is. And Embark Studios could easily add new PvE threats to spice it up, but if you do that while also having players who will inevitably reach the ceiling and what they can reasonably obtain, they will eventually turn to just griefing newer players by hunting them, which won't work for the longevity of the game. And this has happened in many other games that also have tried this too, because then the newer players will just get frustrated because these older guys that have way better guns and stuff will just keep, knocking them out, and then they'll just drop the game and walk away. This means that Arc Raiders will have to either pull a Destiny 2 and separate both experiences, which really doesn't work either way, or just focus on one, and they will know that the PvE element will be the logical path to follow here, which will, annoy the streamers, but it just is what it is. Because obviously you have quests in Arc Raiders that tell you, for example, find batteries and wires, go fix this roof, turn on this computer, etc., etc. And all of these quests obviously are PvE things that you need to do. The hardest part of any one of these missions, besides the Arc robots hunting you, is of course if some other player finds you first. I would even go as far as to say I would be cool if Embark just added robot raiders to Arc Raiders that you can shoot in the game. Maybe put an icon on them so players know that they're bots first, but I would prefer that honestly over some random players just griefing everyone else 24/7. And I also think a big wall for many players enjoying Arc Raiders 2 is they're likely afraid to actually upgrade their weapons or armor and bring their gear into the game as well. Because if you spend all those resources on this gun you like and then you get sniped and then you lose it forever, that loss feels terrible. Like I said in the beginning, I still mourn that shotgun I lost. And I think it won't be long until Embark adds a system
You'll
where
get your
even if
chance,
you
comrade.
get zeroed,
You'll
you
get
don't
your
lose
chance.
your weapons forever. Think of it like Dark Souls, right? When you get defeated, you drop your souls where it happened. You are now given a second chance to return to where you lost to retrieve your souls. If you fail before grabbing it, then you lose them forever. Even Diablo has done this as well, all the way back with Diablo 2, where all your items and stuff would be left on your character's body. You would have a second chance to go grab it. Yet in Arc Raiders, if you get shot and taken out, that's it. It's over. It doesn't feel good. Again, I can already hear the PvP players hitting their keyboards and whatever, saying, well, that's the point of the game. But again, this is where that rope being pulled by each side begins to tether and snap again. The overwhelming majority of people who play these games are not PvP gods in their rooms drinking 5-hour energy boost.
That's right,
every single
they're
day.
not.
And I don't know about you, but when it comes to Arc Raiders, I almost don't want to upgrade or even use the guns that I like. Instead, usually I opt for the free loadout because I don't want to lose the guns that I enjoyed and put so much time into. Unfortunately, it doesn't really work, and while you can upgrade your guns, I guess, it doesn't seem to upgrade the tier of the gun when you remake it a second time. Maybe I'm wrong, but I think a good change would be to allow the weapon upgrade system also permanently upgrade the rank of the weapons you can make from the get-go as well. Because if you spend all these materials making a gun level 3 or 4, let's say, and then you lose it, and then your only option now is to make the weapon again, but it's of course level 1, and now you have to spend all these extra resources just to get back to where you were before, that feels bad. It feels like a genuine waste of time. But if you could just upgrade the base level of the weapon you make from the workstation, so if I lose my, let's say, level 4 Rattler, but I can just go back to my base, hit a button, spend the resources, and make another level 4 Rattler because I've upgraded it to level 4 from 1, obviously, that urge to keep playing is better in my opinion because I won't feel like what I lost was such a big burden on, well, all of my resources pretty much. Would that make the game more casual? Yes, it would. But why does that even matter? Isn't it just a win-win for everyone really involved?
Yeah, that could be win.
Because the player who loses their gear will get back to where they were faster, which will cause them to keep playing and probably buy more cosmetics and whatnot. And even if they do get shot down again, the player who got them down now has access to that increased gear economy as well. So how is that any way way a negative for anyone. But credit where it's due, at least, Arc Raiders does give you a safe slot on your person, depending on the build, I guess, that you use, but at least lets you keep one item safe even if you, lose back to base, which already tells me that these developers are fully aware that adding these quality of life improvements that differentiate it from other extraction shooters is helping people to play their game and get into it in the first place. I mean, it's even worse if you play around and you happen to spawn amidst like a swarm of PvE robots, if you will, and they just take you down immediately. And then you can't even revive yourself. Sure, you could spec fully into the left tree of the skill tree, then you can revive yourself after a certain amount of time. For most early players, they won't have that, but the investment to get to what should be a basic thing you should be able to do at least once in a match is a massive investment of points that most players might not even get to before they get too frustrated and leave entirely anyways. It's that I don't think that Arc Raiders will honestly survive if it believes that it needs to cater to specifically streamers over casual players. Because when you have people like Dr. Disrespect screaming that he hates fighting robots,
I don't want to fight these robots!
It kind of makes you wonder, well, maybe this game isn't built for the PvP people like him, For example, Battlefield 6 has a Battle Royale mode. It came out recently. And honestly, I've heard next to no hype about it at all. Most people just seem to want to keep playing the base game over that of its Battle Royale. It's as if the BR just exists in something like Battlefield 6 to make these sorts of players happy, to shut them up even. But it's not the sort of experience that people are really looking for to play Battlefield. Like, just in September this year, as you can see, Arrowhead, which makes Helldivers, said themselves don't expect Battle Royale to be added to Helldivers 2 anytime
good for them.
soon, although they won't say never. But the reality is that Helldivers 2 really doesn't need a Battle Royale at all. At best, it could have what Arc Raiders does. Multiple squads or maybe solo players that drop on a planet to do missions, and they get hunted by PvE enemies and maybe players alike. I guess I could see that, but full-blown let's drop down and shoot each other? Yeah, I don't know about that. Helldivers doesn't exactly have Call of Duty level movement. Your characters are rather clumsy, if anything, on purpose in that game, and I think at best what Arc Raiders could add maybe is Team Deathmatch or something like Domination, where players can compete to level their characters more, get attachments, maybe for their guns and whatnot that they can then use in the base game. However, even this could lead to massive imbalances for Arc Raiders like it did with Destiny 2. If players who grind PvP modes then get better weapons or attachments that are meant for PvP, and then they go into PvP mode, however you call it, whatever it's called, and then they just destroy those players anyways too. Like I said, it's a hard balancing act, and I genuinely can't think of a single game where both modes that are equally represented gets it right that it works well enough. It's almost always a problem that ends up teetering to one side and causing people to leave.
Although I'm gonna be skipping a bit. Again, I apologize if I had to let it run way longer, because there are times where you had to let it run longer because you had to make your point across. Here.
They came out of nowhere. I dragged Jerry in here.
Again,
powered up the gate.
These streamers, you cannot exactly listen to any of these
Joker
people.
went through that door. What's on the other side?
We call it extreme isolation. Only way in is via the transport system.
Open it.
People just want to
I
relax,
just need to call another cell.
You don't want to deal with the stressiness like these streamers deal because they've already been a pro?
Security loop is locked.
Having a little trouble up there?
Joker.
You were expecting maybe Two-Face?
There's no escape, Joker.
Silly bat! I don't want to escape. I'm having way too much fun. I even have you here to keep a smile on my face.
Not for long.
Really? We'll see. Ta-ta! Oh, I forgot to say. Just in case you were planning on following me, I've arranged a little insurance. Gordon is on his way to Harley as we speak.
Officer Bowles.
If I see you trying to follow me, he dies. Harley's looking forward to it. Maybe I'll film it and post it on the internet.
The transport system is down. The best I can do is open the door you came in. Sorry.
I should go back to the holding cells. Bowles wasn't too smart. He'll have left a trail.
Now again, understand one thing. Okay. People just want to relax. They're not the majority of players. They're just casual. They don't have a massive audience, or they don't like... See, here's the thing. Not everyone can be like either Dr. Disaster, or... No, not Dr. Disaster, or Dr. Disrespect, or even... What? Shroud, Tim the Tatman, or Face Swag, that played... What? 12 hours? And some of these Call of Duty streamers, they keep on playing the same game.
What's happening?
Joker's escaped. He sealed himself off. He's got your father.
Wait 1 second.
Dad.
Don't worry, I'm getting him back.
Okay, I know, but...
Oracle, I'm getting him back. Joker will not win. I won't let him. I'm starting where he was taken. A guard named Frank Bowles attacked him. If I find Frank, I'll find your father.
Bruce, hurry, please.
Now remember one thing. When you make a game for everyone, means you make a game for no one. Look, people just want to relax, okay? All they want is some simple. Well, not that simple. Not too simple, not too hard, okay?
Ouch! Frankie, go way back! I got him out of the sort of bother a few years ago.
Jesus.
So when I need security codes or an old man to be clubbed to the ground?
This is what happens when you cater.
I hope that hurt, pig.
Never mind. 1 second. Whoop. Vale. And again, maybe one day I'll pick up Arc Raider. And also understand one thing. Not every game is for everyone, okay? Like, let's say for example this. What's the word? What's the game? Oh yeah, Helldiver. I may be starting playing it because, to be honest, I should try. Or in this case, Dispatch. There will be a time where that game Dispatch isn't for me, okay? Now again, I'm gonna skip a bit.
I think the way Arc Raiders is set up right now, like I said, it doesn't make sense to really go out with your better weapons or gears like 9 times out of 10, at least for me anyways. Because if I'm spending all this time and resources on my guns and whatnot, and then some random player gets a drop on me, and now I gotta grind back to where I was before minutes ago, I'd rather just leave the game behind and move on honestly, because it's a waste of time. And before people say, oh, why, because you're casual? Yeah, I am. I don't care at all.
Me too,
for
mate.
PvP. I like fully admit that. It's like Dark Souls for me, man. I almost always play those games offline for a reason. I have enough to deal with. I don't want people invading my game. People might hear that and go, oh, you're one of those players. You mean one of those players who doesn't care about PvP? Yep, that's me. Guilty as charged, I guess. Like I said in the beginning, I'm primarily a single player kind of guy.
Same for me.
I don't care for co-op, multiplayer stuff most of the time. I even played Arc Raiders. Like it is a single player game to me. I'm just tired of the squads, and frankly, I don't like that sort of stuff. There's too many variables, too many people that are on the map at any given point.
I'm literally getting ready to install the game.
And if one person in your squad gets down, you're suddenly significantly in a much worse position than the people around you. Like, I just want to clear my quests and enjoy my time with the game and get cool guns. I don't want to have to deal with knowing that maybe like Shroud or Dr. Disrespect is sitting on a cliffside ready to snipe me so they can put me into some montage on YouTube Shorts.
No! Oh.
And I can confidently say that the sort of player I am is likely what overwhelmingly makes up the player base of a game like Arc Raiders to begin with. I would play more squads
or any other
if it was
games
PvE and there were a greater, threat of maybe Arc enemies, but no, I don't want to play squads if it means that some coordinated team of like 3 guys who are either streaming or playing 24/7 are the ones hunting me. I just want to play the game that I bought and have fun with it. If that somehow makes me wrong, then well, I guess it is what it is, but I want to enjoy the game I bought the same as everyone else.
I don't want to be shooting robots!
Everybody wants to just enjoy, okay? I know, and I can tell some of the viewers who watch Shroud or anybody, or maybe you guys here are watching this, you probably wanted to just, I don't know, play a few games, at least, to relax, to sit down and relax. You don't want to deal with the sweatiness that these Call of Duty fanboys and shields are doing.
Oracle, I'm at the holding cells. I'm setting up a crime scene.
So what's the plan? Isolate something in that room unique to both?
I'm enjoying.
Exactly.
And also, for Souls games, what I would do is simple, folks. If I can't beat the boss for let's say it was 100 times or maybe 50 times, what I do is simple. Put down the game, play something else, and then come back. Simple.
Bowles dropped his flask. Sloppy. Let's see what the forensics
very simple.
picks up.
And yes, I suck at Souls-like games.
I can follow traces of alcohol from Frank's bourbon in the atmosphere.
That's right.
Oracle, I've got a trail.
That's great. You follow it. I'm grabbing every reference to Arkham I can find. Maybe useful later.
And also, I will happily admit that I am a casual player. I will never forget that. Look. Back then, all I wanted to just sit down, play games, and relax, at least for once. Don't you know that many of these people who just got back from work or school, they're all tired, folks.
I bought the same as everyone else.
I don't want to be shooting robots!
One streamer named Lucci chimed in on Arc Raiders and how other players want the game to be this battle royale experience over what it is, and he said this: I think a lot of gamers would be happier if they could just admit they don't like a game. Arc Raiders is never going to be for everyone, and it's not meant to be. I see so many people asking for massive gameplay changes, and it's been out for 2 days. The game is amazing as is. Another streamer named Deadly Slob also spoke on how people want the game to be something that it isn't. Here's what he said: Arc Raiders isn't an Apex Legends replacement. It's not just PvP either. The AI are meant to be tough. That's the story. Why do gamers always try to force every new title into the mold of their favorite game? Just play the one you wanted Arc to be instead. Exactly this. There's no need to turn Arc Raiders into Warzone or Fortnite, because if you want a game like Warzone, you can just play Warzone.
That's right.
The truth is that what makes games unique is when they carve out their own unique identity. You don't play The Legend of Zelda because you're expecting Super Mario. You play it because you want Zelda, the type of game where it is uniquely what it is in the first place, the same way you would with any other game. I said this before, but it bears repeating. The games that are doing the best this year and even previously are all games that specialize in a few things, instead of trying to cast as wide a net as possible as, say, like some Ubisoft game or something. Arc Raiders is good because it's not Fortnite, Apex, or Warzone. It's good because it's Arc Raiders. And the further that Embark Studios moves from that game's core identity, the worse that it will become. Remember that Embark also made The Finals. That was a PvP-centric game that tried to cater to the exact type of streamers and players who are also unsurprisingly now calling for Arc Raiders to be another game just like The Finals, even though The Finals already exists. Just go play that instead. As Game Rant explains here back in 2024, The Finals, that's Embark Studios' previous game, lost the majority of its players very quickly after release. They further state here that The Finals lost roughly 80% of its player base in just a month and a half on Steam alone. The game is still going as of this video being live, but the most centric PvP games, the same truths just continue to repeat themselves. That almost every AAA PvP focused game, whether it's free to play or not, they always lose the majority of their players. Even Call of Duty tends to lose their players quickly too, and why is that? I think the reason why The Finals may not be thriving the way Embark hoped is simple. There is too much competition in that space. There's too many games that do similar things to it that are also vying for the same player numbers and time. Arc Raiders proved that they took a genre noticeably known for being hardcore and difficult, that being extraction shooters, and then made it easier. And hey, it's working. And like I said, if they listen to the streamers and such, Arc will have an identity crisis. It would be better to focus all in on the PvE elements of the game, to at least ensure that long after their release and the streamers leave, which let's be real, might be soon anyway,
they will.
Call of Duty Black Ops 7 is around the corner. The players that will stay around are those who will engage with Arc Raiders because of its unique systems, which are unanimously almost all PvE related anyways. But I mean, it's not just the streamer's faults, because even Nick Merckx has commented on how his own viewer base wants him to play more PvP focused games anyways over something like Arc Raiders. Like, here's what he had to say about it. Please watch.
I think this game will keep growing, personally.
I was talking to Peanut. He expected to, he said it was like over a million.
It's got to be over a million, yeah.
With PlayStation, Xbox, and everything.
Yep. There's just that herd of people in our chats and in our comment section that only want us to play, you know, the M4A1, right? Whatever, VR, COD. Those guys just can't get outside their bubble, man, and play other shit. It's crazy, too, because they're going to miss, like, how great this game is. Incredible.
That's right.
And I agree with Nick Merckx. I think people are too pigeonholed by what they like to try something out of their comfort zone. Not every game needs to be Call of Duty, and even when a game is like Call of Duty, take the most recent Medal of Honor game, which I say recent, but it's been like well over 10 years since that game came out.
More than 10 years.
The point is that players clowned on Medal of Honor because they said that it was too much like Call of Duty. So even when developers give you games like the games that you like, people still don't like those games because they're not exactly the games that they already played. But I think the only reason why people would want, say, Arc Raiders to be Call of Duty or Fortnite is simple, so they can apply their skills from those games in an almost one-to-one through line to be better at these newer games immediately, but that's why it sucks.
First off, good video. Shout out to Endymion. I know I skip a lot, well mostly, because this is something that you have to understand one thing. Look, again, like I said, not every game can be for everyone, okay? And that's okay. Like, let's say Black Ops 7. That game's not gonna be for me because, for the record, I've already checked out. Now, I don't know if Black Ops 7 release in 5 days from now, these streamers will remember games like Arc Raiders or Battlefield 6. They're probably gonna still suck into their head. They just want to relax, okay? Video game is a form of escapism. And also, a little bit of clarification, the reason why I'm using Batman Arkham Asylum is because if you read the title and the thumbnail, is that this is about casual and hardcore player, okay? I will admit, wholeheartedly, I am a casual player. I just want to relax. That's it. I'm not streaming 12 hours. Not everyone can be like these idiots, Shroud or Dr. Disrespect or even Face Swag or Tim the Tatman, stream 24/7. We're not like that. Humans have limitation. Understand that. So this is gonna be a cutscene. Hope you enjoy. Again, make a game for everyone means you make a game for no one. Remember that.
Stupid, unreliable. How did Joker get...
Be quiet.
What's going on?